Bhagavad Gita 6.34, the turbulent mind. Chanchalam imana Krishna pramati balavatritam tasyam nisham manye vayariva sudushkam. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishnas, and to subdue it, I think it's more difficult than controlling the wind. So the mind is like a hurricane, a raging hurricane, which carries us through 8,400,000 species of life. The mind forces us to take so many forms, more forms which have nothing to do with our real self. 8,400,000 species of life. Do you want to be a microbial germ? What's the problem? The mind does not agree that we become a devotee of Krishna. No, it wants sense gratification. That for self-realization, we must subdue the mind by Krishna consciousness. And the mind is like a wild horse. A man wants to tame a wild horse, and the wild horse, which is not used to carry anyone, who is not used to be under control, protests and jumps up the back legs, and it takes a whole time before, a long time before this wild horse is tamed. But Krishna says, yes, yato nishalati manasaslam ashtiram. Tatastato nyamyeti atmani vashamnayat. One should control the mind. When it wanders, bring it back always. Bring it back under control of the intelligence and the self. It's not an easy process. It's a gradual process, Krishna says. Saner paramat buddhya dritta grittaya atma samstamanakitva nakinchit apishintyat. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else. So, if the mind is uncontrolled, we are godas. We are the servant of the senses. But a Krishna conscious person must become Goswami. That we do not need to give up sense gratification, but senses want engagement. If not engaged in Krishna consciousness, they will be engaged in sense gratification. Goswami means pleasing Krishna's senses. And that brings the senses under full control. It is not by being inactive that like we heard in the 4th chapter, that action in inaction. There the jnani one or the yogi wants to become completely inactive materially. But the yogi is breathing. It's mass killing of microbiological germs at every moment, at every breath. So this Mayavadi renunciant or yogi is still performing action. But the devotee is inaction in action. A devotee in Krishna consciousness acts spiritually, but is materially inactive. Arjuna was inactive, although he was completely in action on the battlefield. It was akarma, inaction. Therefore, we must take up devotional service to escape the suffering of birth and death. So Krishna says, bring the mind back under control of the self. We need to expect that the mind will be like a hurricane, and we have to bring it back under control of the self. And we need to use our intelligence to correct the mind. Our intelligence means transcendental intelligence. With the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we engage the body, mind, senses, everything we have, even our convictions, in the service of Krishna. And because the mind will not become peaceful by indulgence in sense gratification. No, it becomes Tayaprita Sejam, it will become more and more disturbed. And we alone can control the mind. Nobody can do it for us. We should become a Goswami, engaged in devotional service. That if we begin this process of controlling the mind and senses, we will attain self-realization. And then this mind, which Arjuna compares to the wind, will become pacified and under control. Thank you very much.